Hello everyone, my name is Fletch, and I'm here to talk about two items that we will be looking at as a vlogger on a motorcycle. One of them, or at least the two of them, is the Telesin GoPro mount for full-face helmets, and the other one is the Ulanzi VlLog cage, which is, this particular one is for the GoPro Hero 8 Black. We also have one which I've been using in my previous videos, which is the Ulanzi GoPro mount for the Hero 7 and below. As I mentioned earlier in my other videos, the GoPro 8 has changed in size, so it would not fit mounts like this in the previous other mounts that you have. So it's a good thing that they released this particular one, and that now we can actually use this to vlog on a motorcycle. This is a pretty simple setup. The Telesin GoPro mount comes across with the GoPro mount attachment here, and it also comes with a J-hook, which is attached here. Sorry, I was looking for it, and I didn't realize I didn't detach it from the VlLog cage. So this you would fit into the mount here, and you mount it from below. Now, the good thing about the Ulanzi VlLog cage is that it's a bit more sturdy, you would say, because the older one's made of plastic, and this one is actually more metal, right? It's pretty easy to use, and the good thing about this is that although it's not waterproof, it comes with a little side panel, which then you can cover your battery when you take off the cover. So if you can see from the GoPro Hero 8, I removed the cover, and you can actually have the connection over here that you have access to. So when all you need to do is remove two pieces, which is the slide up the back bit, in which then you just fit the GoPro Hero 8 in. You need to remove this first, otherwise it won't be able to go in, and it won't be able to remove it out. And you just slide it in to the top there. And then finally, of course, the little back cage at the back. Very sturdy. And also it comes with a little cradle below to actually mount the mic connector to, which you slide it nicely below. And you put it through the connector which is exposed. By no means this is waterproof, but it will mean that at least in a light shower or what have you, that this will still be covered, and you don't have to worry about the battery coming off and so forth. Then you will also connect your mic to your mic adapter. So what I've done was, the way I set it up is that I will mount this on my full face helmet, and I would attach the mic to the straps inside, and of course put in all the wires inside so that it's secure. And then I'll mount the camera and then attach the microphone to it. So far I've used it several times with my GoPro Hero 7, and it's perfect, and no issues. But I think I've used this already once with my GoPro 8, and I realized that because of the weight of it, it sits a little bit lower, so you probably need to adjust it a little bit more so that the tips go further into the mouthpiece or the front part of your full face helmet, so that then you have a better view. Because when I reviewed the footage from my GoPro 8, I found that it was actually, the view was much lower, and all you saw were my handlebars and of course my tank and the speedometer, but you didn't get a chance to see the road, so it will serve not much of a purpose if you don't reposition it properly. So I would suggest that you position it in such a way, always position it with the two on top so it's a bit more secure. The two bits, the triangle bits on top, so it's more secure. And try to push it much higher so that you see a little bit more of the screen if you glance down, but at least you have a better view of the road and so forth. Right? So I think the Ulanzi and Telesin pieces of kit, I think essential and probably a good thing to have, because ultimately as a vlogger, you don't want to be putting it on the side, thinking about how to run the wires in to be able to have your narration recorded and so forth. This way the microphone is right close to your mouth, but you don't get it directly in front, so that you don't get any popping and so forth. And it's of course easily removed. You don't have to worry about sticking something permanently, a GoPro mount permanently on it. So I think that's a pretty good thing. So right now, just as a little simple overview and how easy it is to use. It also comes, both of them come with a little mount, shoe mount. So if you want to do, that's what they call it, a VlLog. You can also use the GoPro as a VlLog. And you can mount your lights and you can mount your microphones on it if you want to as well. So this is my impression and my suggestion of a VlLog kit that you can use with your GoPro. And now you can also use your GoPro Hero 8 with the Ulanzi VlLog cage specifically for it. I think the serial numbers on the back, it's actually, you should look for the Ulanzi G8-5. So it's the Ulanzi G8-5. I'll leave the link below for both of these items, so that you can have a look and decide for yourself. It's available on most online stores. And I managed to get it in the local store here, which they happen to have stock on. So right now, that's my overview. Why don't we go over to the road and let's take a look and see my impressions.
Hello everyone, now I'm back on the road and I've mounted up the Telesin or Telesin GoPro mount for full face helmets, and of course you see here the VlLog cage from Ulanzi for the GoPro Hero 8 Black. As I mentioned earlier in my review, this mount was made specifically for the GoPro Hero Black, because in my earlier video on my review for the GoPro Hero Black, which I will put up on my card for you to refer to, is that the size of the body of the GoPro Hero Black 8 is larger than that of the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and 5 or 6 for that matter. So because of that, all the previous mounts don't work, and this one is the only one that can work with the GoPro Hero 8 Black. Now, as I mentioned also earlier, the difference between this VlLog cage and the one for the GoPro Hero 7 is the fact that it's made of metal, and there is actually a hefty weight to this. So much so that when I'm mounting it on the Telesin GoPro mount, I would actually literally have to push it a little bit higher so that it won't be falling down on the weight, and also be able to have the road view, because when I did a test with this much earlier, I realized when I reviewed the footage that all I was seeing was just the front. So you get the handlebars, the mirrors, my speedometer, the tank, and that's about it. I mean, if I'm doing a review, I suppose that's good of the motorbike, but in this case, not a very good thing, because ultimately you want to not just mount it for vlogs, but you also want to have it for the views of the vista, and you're traveling, and in some cases people put these cameras on in case of an accident, so you can play back what has happened. So fixing on this particular mount, the Telesin GoPro mount, fairly simple. You just simply slip the straps through a little hinge and lock it in place. Normally you'd have the V's facing up, rather than starting with the single finger. I call it a finger, the part of the 3-prong facing up first, so this way you can have a better security. Also, you can actually adjust the positioning of it in relation to the full face helmet's front portion. Right now it's sitting pretty high up. It's not obscuring my view, but it's very obvious to me that there's something sticking there, as opposed to when I was mounting my GoPro Hero 7 mount, the Ulanzi mount, which was made of plastic and lighter. I didn't have the issue of it going up so high, so it wasn't so obtrusive, so to speak. Good and bad. The bad part is that it does take up a bit of a view. I can't close the lid of my visor fully because of it. The good thing is, if you look at it positively, is that I have a really good view of the screen, and I know that at least now my position is perfect because I can see the entire road without having to adjust my helmet. I can see the entire view in front. And that's the purpose of having it in the first place, rather than having it pointing down. The other downside of this VlLog cage is that like I said, it was metal, and there's actually a fair bit of weight on it. I can actually feel the difference that is added to the front of my helmet. I mean, riding locally, short distance rides, I suppose it's fine, but I think one of the bad things would be that you literally can feel the weight. You'll be uncomfortable. I think because of that, you'll be constantly arching your neck. Sorry, I had to avoid this guy because he's trying to get in front of me, but my fault for lane splitting. So you probably invariably might get a neck ache over a long period of time. But to me, the way the mic is mounted and the way it cradles the mic adapter for the GoPro means that it's a more secure and simpler ways of being able to do a vlog on a motorcycle, as opposed to putting a permanent GoPro mount in the front, which will permanently block off your airflow, in a sense, because you have a front vent in front of the helmet here. And what it does is that of course it lets in the air so that you'll be cooler as you ride, but that being said, I have a top vent as well. Sorry, I have to concentrate here. But at least the way this has been designed, it doesn't totally block off the vent, and I have at least some airflow. Sorry, just doing some cutting here. Sorry, yeah, so it doesn't cut off the airflow into the helmet, but again, the fact that my visor doesn't close fully, I'm also getting ventilation from the gap between the visor and the helmet. Again, short distances is not an issue, but if you're traveling at higher speeds on the highway, then it starts to become a little irritating, if not totally uncomfortable. We're in the tunnel right now. I was hoping that this being the eve of the new year, the traffic wouldn't be so bad, but apparently I'm wrong. far off from home anyway, so not a real issue. Yeah, so this I think is a really good combination of the Telesin GoPro mount together with the Ulanzi VlLog cage. I think makes it an easier setup than having to do what I noticed most of the other vloggers did when they didn't have this particular thing, was literally tape the GoPro mic adapter to the GoPro and then have it stuck onto the front of the camera of the helmet. But again, because of the intake, you can't put a GoPro mount there. It will probably be off to the side. So again, it's not a full straight on point of view. You'll get something off to the side, or depends on which way you want to put it. And securing the wires and everything else, it's not as easy as it is here. Securing the mic and securing the wires as well. So anyway, these are my thoughts. I think this is something that I think whoever is looking to vlog using the GoPro, I think this is a good solution to look at. Anyway, I'd like to wish everyone a very happy New Year. May you all have safe rides and knuckles to the wind. If you do like this video, please do comment below. Click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my video. You have a good one. Thank you.